These are undercover pictures of the criminal justice system at work. Not how it's supposed to work, but how we found it often works in a 3-month primetime investigation of whether people convicted of drunk driving and sent to drunk driving school can buy their way out of justice.
Because if the state comes in, they'll bust us and they'll bust you.
Over the last decade, with so many Americans being killed by drunk drivers, there's been a big effort to get tough on the highways. A key part of the Get Tough effort, mandatory drunk driving classes.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Now widely used by judges, both to rehabilitate and to punish.
How much did you have that day?
Authorities say such drunk driving schools can lead to a significant decrease in drunk driving arrests when the classes are run properly. But we found in our primetime investigation that's not always the case. That in fact, there's a disturbing trend of payoffs, bribes, serious corruption in drunk driving schools around the country. From California to Massachusetts, including a state with some of the toughest drunk driving laws, Georgia.
He leaned forward, lowered his voice, and said, "Well, then I believe I've got a deal for you."
And the deal undercover detective Glenn Kessler of Savannah, Georgia was offered was a deal to buy his way out of attending drunk driving school, complete with a phony certificate to show the judge.
His deal was you would never go to class.
Exactly.
You would get the certificate, and you get your license back.
Exactly. And I could get right back out on the road.
There is a significant number of players out there who are willing to cut corners up to and including selling certificates.
Jane Martin is the state official who oversees Georgia's drunk driving schools program.
You have completed the driving school.
Martin says one big problem is that in Georgia, as in many other states, people convicted of driving under the influence, DUI, are allowed to choose which school they will attend.
They're not saying, oh, let me find the instructor that's going to help me best change my behavior. They're looking for a quick, easy way out.
And authorities say that's been the case in the small town of Lakeland in rural southern Georgia, where the local drunk driving school somehow has drawn more students than some schools in metropolitan Atlanta.
Is this your first one?
The owner of the school, Caroline Johnson, one of the most prominent school operators in the state, a powerful county commissioner in Lakeland,
Good to see you, Sheriff.
close to the local sheriff and politicians.
Why do you have so many students?
I don't know.
This is a small town.
And they're not
And you
from
have
Lakeland.
hundreds of students, and you have students coming from all over.
That's right, I do.
But state authorities say there's more to it than that. And last year, the state accused Caroline Johnson's school of a long list of violations, including allegations she was essentially selling certificates to students who never attended class.
No, that's not side.
Taking the money, keeping the
No.
certificates.
No.
Johnson insisted the alleged violations were nothing more than clerical errors.
So it's just a question of paperwork and
Paperwork.
computer breakdowns.
Right.
Nothing corrupt here.
I don't think there's nothing corrupt.
But to find out for ourselves, Primetime went undercover to drunk driving school.
Hi, is this where y'all have the driver's class?
We sent a recent college graduate, Adam Wisniewski, to Lakeland, posing as a convicted drunk driver.
Okay,
After making a telephone appointment, our undercover student put on a hidden camera and then went down to the driving school to see if he could get his completion certificate without attending class.
is this where I get DUI?
Our instructions to him were to say only that he would have a hard time attending the DUI school because of his heavy college class load, which is what he told Caroline Johnson's assistant, Monica Suggs.
You got classes every night?
Yeah.
Figured. Yeah.
And in that instant, the deal was done, as Monica Suggs told our man to sign in.
What you do is sign your name at each spot all the way across.
Okay.
What he was signing was the state-required attendance roster for each of the next 4 classes Adam would not have to attend.
If anybody asks you, if anybody asks you, you went to school the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, 6 to 10 p.m., and on the 8th from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Okay.
Anybody asks you, okay?
Then she gave him the test he would have to take to pass the class and the answer sheet to go with it.
Just copy those answers on this one and then sign your name at the top and put them under. Okay.
The price of all this, $210, the regular cost of the week-long drunk driving school. Apparently fearful of state investigators, Monica Suggs told Adam he couldn't pick up his completion certificate until the drunk drivers who actually went to class that week got theirs.
But we need you back here either Saturday or Monday to finish up this paperwork. That's imperative, because if the state comes in, they'll bust us and they'll bust you.
Okay.
And then you'll have to go to some other school
Right.
where you will have to sit through the class.
When we visited the Lakeland drunk driving school with our cameras showing, Monica Suggs and her boss, Caroline Johnson, gave every impression of running an above-board business.
You feel good about what you're doing.
I feel real good about it. I love to do it. I love the students. You know, maybe they were lucky to get caught before some tragedy really happened to them.
But it was a different Caroline Johnson on our undercover tape when our student Adam returned to pick up his completion certificate. First, we saw the students who had actually attended the class receiving their certificates, handed out by their teacher, Miss Johnson. And then, after the real students had left, Miss Johnson locked the door and got down to business with Adam and with two other people who also had stayed behind.
And we don't count these till y'all show up, because in case the state comes in, that's why I lock that door.
And in just a few minutes, the woman who told us how important she thinks her drunk driving school is issued a certificate of completion to someone who had never attended a single class. Georgia authorities say it is a felony to falsify such a certificate.
You done pay for yours?
Yes, ma'am.
You ready to go then? You don't...
It was 1 month later when we came back to Lakeland to talk with Caroline Johnson.
Do you remember a student by the name of Adam Wisniewski?
No.
I'd like to show you a piece of tape
Okay, go ahead.
of what happened when Mr. Wisniewski came.
Okay.
Take a look at this.
This paperwork. That's imperative, because if the state comes in, they'll bust us and they'll bust you.
Okay.
And then you'll have to go to some other school
Right.
where you will have to sit through the class.
I appreciate it.
He's signing for each class before they occur. She said he doesn't have to attend the class.
I'm glad I saw that.
Miss Johnson first tried to blame the problem on her assistant, Monica.
You trust Monica to run the operation?
Well, I thought I did.
Is she told to operate that way?
No, no.
Isn't this what you said doesn't happen? Isn't it happening right in front of your eyes?
Was I here?
Now, may I show you one more piece of tape?
Okay.
This is the day he received his certificate. That's you.
We don't count these till y'all show up, because in case the state comes in, that's why I lock that door.
You locked the door for fear the state would come in.
I always lock the door.
If our undercover student had been a real drunk driver, the certificate would have been all he would have needed to get his driver's license back, signed by class instructor Caroline Johnson.
According to the state, knowingly issuing a false state document is a felony.
If I did, I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
Yeah.
Now, how do you explain this?
Well, maybe, you know, maybe I thought he was in class.
Please, how could you think that?
Well, anything can happen. We do have heavy classes, I can tell you that.
So your explanation for this is, just so I understand it, that what, you're confused?
Confused about it, yeah,
You're confused.
yeah.
First, it was your employee's problem.
Well, I have had employee problems.
You typed the certificate, Miss Johnson. That was no employee, that was you.
Okay.
As for the employee, Monica Suggs, when we told her what we had done in our undercover investigation, she admitted that's the way business has been done at Caroline Johnson's school, something she says she learned from a former employee.
Is this something you thought up?
No, it's not.
This is not a fast one you're pulling on Miss Johnson. And can I take it from that this is something you were told how to do?
Yes.
State authorities say there is no way to really know how many accidents are caused by drunk drivers who have been able to buy their way out of court-ordered drunk driving schools. But the problem is of growing concern in Georgia and across the country.
these individuals who have not gone to class will continue to drink and drive, and they could end up killing somebody.
We plan to broadcast this tape.
Okay, that's fine with me. Go ahead. I'm not ashamed.
That's how you do business here.
Well, I still run a good business. I run a good business.